You're on mute. How many times have you, I was going to say how many times have you heard that, but actually.
You're on mute.
Oh,
how many times have you, I was going to say how many times have you heard that, but actually. You're on mute.
Actually, what you see is you're on mute with lip reading, don't you? That's actually what happens. Anyway, here I am, Pam Burrows People Booster, with an hour for you. How much time have you been spending on yourself? How much time, energy, resources, patience have you been spending on everybody else? So whilst the spotlights have been on everyone else and you've been giving it out there tonight, it's about turning it on you. It's your turn to have some recharging, some putting something back in your tank. So if you feel like you've been running on empty, running on fumes, maybe, then this is great. It's great that you're here right now to do this. So I have had a message that some people are finding it hard to get in. So I'm hoping that you might catch up or that you are in at some point. I'm just going to double check if that seems to, it's come up now. Brilliant. We are on, and hopefully you are with me. That is the most important thing, because whilst I can just do a recording, it makes such a huge difference if I know that you're here with me. So that's delicious. Right, let me just, I'm just trying to get YouTube on at the same time in order that, let me just make it go live, because I like to be able to see what's happening for you, and then we can chat. So that's all good. Right. So here we go. We hopefully are on, and you can chat to me in the chat box if you want to. So I've got that on my phone just there. And here we are. So you might be able to hear the birds singing. You might be able to hear my chickens squawking, because I've just put them away and they're a bit miffed. They're like, oh, there's still some daylight. We want to wander around the garden. And you might hear Roger the cat meowing for treats. So while the fabulous farm goes on around us, I do live in the city. It's not actually a farm, just seems like one. My kitchen floor looks like one. And whatever chaos has been going on around you, whatever busyness there has been, here is the little oasis. It is time for you. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. So what we're going to do is, first off, if you want to already have your feet in your bubble bath, if that's what you're going to do tonight, then feel free to have your feet in already. Don't wait for me to invite you. If you want to wait a bit, we're going to do some other things first, and then I'll give you the nod at the point at which you really need to have your feet in the water. And that's all good. So I'm wondering why I can only see the slides that were at the beginning there. I'm hoping all is well. Let me just going to restart YouTube on my phone. Apologies for the faffing, because I just want to make sure that you can see what I can see. That's the only thing about being on YouTube, because for the faffing, because there we are. Because now I'm seeing myself live, and I know that hopefully you are too. Right. So what I do when I'm not doing this, and when I'm not cleaning out the chickens, is I travel around, actual staying in hotels. Oh my gosh, up and down the country, running well-being sessions, whether that's at conferences or in smaller workshops or in long-term well-being programs for organizations. So that's what I do, in case you have found me on social media and we haven't met before. And maybe actually you already know me, and maybe that's because you've just done something with me, a workshop or a conference, or you've known me for a while. Whichever it is, we're going to do some great stuff tonight, which is about putting something back in your tank. And there is loads and loads of other stuff on my YouTube channel and on my website that you can have that will hopefully help you if you're crazy busy right now. And then I'll be talking a bit about these towards the end. My little burnout buster book, 33 flags that you're heading for burnout, 33 things to do about them. And the care wellbeing model book, which is the kind of companion to my programs and talks. So more about that later, because there's a little freebie for you that I'll be mentioning in a bit. I've got all my props ready and stacked up here. They're all sliding around the place. Well-being for everyone, but you first. That's the thing that I'm saying a lot at the moment, because I'm working with so many people who provide a service, people who care about what they do, people who are managing other people who are leading organizations, so many different people who are just making sure they're doing their very, very best to make sure that people feel supported, that their well-being is being addressed, and then they forget about themselves. So that's what this is all about. This is what this was about in 2020 when I started doing them in lockdown, because nobody could get to a spa, nobody could get a massage. So I was like, hang on, we could do this online. And here we are, still going 2 years later. It's a little less regular because I'm out and about and being a bit busy. So it's every other month, but always on the last Monday. So the next one, I'm not sure whether I'll do a July one. I might change the week, or I might go straight to August. We'll see, but I'll let you know. So if you haven't already, do go to my website, pamburrows.com, and sign up for the Monday motivation message, because then you will know exactly what's happening and when, and you'll get the link to get your ticket, and it'll all be a lot easier. Right, I'm going to put my feet in now. You can hang on a little while longer if you want to. But what we're going to do this evening, let me just give you a quick rundown. We're going to do some breathing. Breathing is good. And then I'm going to talk to you about how we get overwhelmed, how we push on too much, and what's actually happening psychologically. And it's something that you may or may not have seen me do before, but always worth a refresh if you have. And then we are going to do some little affirmations. Ooh, don't do those often. And then we're going to get our feet in the water. We're going to do some stuff to reduce the stress hormones in your body and boost good ones. And tonight we're going to the specific bit that changes each time I do these. The thing that's specific to tonight is we're going to talk about what happens when other people's drama, other people's crises, other people's stuff. You can insert another word beginning with S if you want. Other people's stuff starts to affect you, and you end up carrying it around on your shoulders, feeling weighed down by all the stuff that's going on. So I'm going to give you a very specific technique for that. It's one of my favorites. I use it myself. In fact, sometimes I even watch my own video in order to do this technique. So I hope you're going to enjoy doing it live with me tonight, but you can also see it on my YouTube channel, so that if you want to do it again at some point and any time you need it, then you can. And we're going to have a shoulder massage, and then we're going to pop off to, oh, hang on, missed a bit out, very important. We're going to get our feet out of the water and do reflexology. If you either haven't got your feet in the water, or you just find it difficult to reach your feet for the reflexology bit, you can do it on your hands. So I'll tell you a little bit about that when we get to it. Then we are heading off to the Maldives, and I've got something particular I want to do when we come back from the Maldives before we close. I've got some stuff to tell you about things that you can access, and then we'll finish around 7:30. And then what I hope you will do is get a large drink of water, because you need to rehydrate when you've done some of this stuff. You use up more water than you realize. And just have a really gentle evening. And if you're on half term and you've got the rest of the week to not be at work, then I hope it'll help you to enjoy whatever it is you've got going on. If you're working this week, I hope it'll just give you a bit of balance, so that you're not just kind of running at everything full pelt. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of breathing, and we're going to just do a very basic thing, which is just to raise your shoulders up and then roll them back and down. And as you do that, As you take your shoulders up, I want you to breathe in through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth. You can do this at whatever pace feels right for you, but so long as it's slowing the breathing down, because what that does, it tells that busy part of the brain that's all about stress and survival and not really the nuances of, do I actually need to panic right now? Just that kind of, if you've been really busy, that part of the brain will calm down if you are breathing nice and long and deep. And remembering that the important part of the breath is the out breath if we're trying to relax. It's the letting go that really makes the difference. Okay, just settle in. If you feel like you just want to ease your neck out a little bit as well, we are going to work on that in a bit. You can just do what you need to do. And do you know what? If you're comfortable enough to just fall asleep while we're doing this, that's a bonus. Don't worry. Don't harass yourself. It's all cool. If all you do in this hour is just not do everything else that you have been doing, then that's a success in itself. Just the fact that you've put aside this time is just brilliant. But just try not to get drawn into anything anybody else needs you for during the hour. Okay, right. What we're going to do next is I'm going to talk to you about the ways in which we can get distracted, or the way that we push on past what we've actually got fuel in our tank for. And so I'm just going to do a quick overview of something called drivers. These were developed by a psychologist called Kayla in 1975. They are still relevant today. And if you've seen me talk about these before, listen up, because I can tell you, I've been talking about them for many, many years. And each time I deliver them, I go, yeah, I needed to be reminded of that, because some of these drivers we've had since time. You know, we've been taught them by the people that brought us up. They've been what's the word? They've kind of been supported and encouraged and almost applauded by people in the workplace and by society in general. So we need to be careful that we don't get out of balance with them. So here are the 5 drivers. Let me just describe them. The first one is be perfect. Here's an Arabian carpet. In the Middle East, where they make the most beautiful carpets, handmade, hand-woven, pure wool, thousands and thousands of pounds some of these cost. In every one, they sew in a mistake, because nothing should be perfect except God. So let's have a think about that. Nothing actually is meant to be perfect. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be the best we can make it. I'm not saying we don't have, you know, a rehearsal to make sure that when we get there, it's going to be as good as it can be. But we should not be striving for perfection at the cost of our own well-being, sanity, and the time and the effort that it takes to keep trying to make something as good as it possibly can be. So an example for me in the work that I do is PowerPoint. I love working with PowerPoint slides, and I will tweak them for hours, when actually I didn't really need to make them, you know, I didn't need to tweak them for that long. Sometimes I over tweak them, and maybe there's more slides than I need, or they're more complicated than I need, or I spend like half an hour looking for the perfect picture to illustrate what I want. So an example would be, I don't know if you can tell, but this picture of an Arabian carpet is actually a picture of a bit of a threadbare one. So I thought, oh, maybe I should get a better picture. And I'm like, oh no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This will do. And I often mention Brené Brown in this respect. She's an American author, a social scientist. She's written some great stuff about how we drive ourselves crazy. And one of the things she says is she sits down with her team at the beginning of a project and says, what does done look like? And they as a team decide what done looks like. So they'll know when they get there, and they don't keep pushing on, trying to make it better and better and better and go beyond. And of course, you know, you can end up over egging the pudding. So the next one is be strong. And here's a weightlifter, but that weightlifter needed preparation to get to that point. He then is going to hold that weight for a very specific amount of time, and it's only going to amount to seconds. How long have you been being strong, especially over the last 2 years, especially over all the things that you may have been holding? How much preparation did you do to be able to be that strong? And how long are you going to be holding it for? There needs to be a point where we let it go, or we let somebody help. It shouldn't be you holding it all of the time. The next one is about hurrying up, being obsessed with time, being in a rush all of the time. If you do that, you will raise the stress hormones in your body, and the whole day will feel like, you know, those days where you go, I haven't stopped, but I couldn't even tell you what I've achieved. I've just been boom, boom, boom all day, not stopped, absolutely exhausted. You may not even have done anything physical. It may be all with your brain, and you feel absolutely exhausted. And this hurrying up becomes a habit. It becomes the way that you do everything. And after getting a ticket for going through a red light, I can tell you it's not worth it, because the amount of time I saved in going through a red light, I was actually there used to be an advert saying, don't be an amber gambler. I was actually being an amber gambler, but it was such a big space to cross the junction that it ended up as a red light. The time I may have spent at that red light, had I stopped at the amber, was more than wiped out by the half day I had to spend getting to and attending the red light course. So that doesn't sound right, does it? But you know what I mean? So hurrying up, if you're always on the last minute, if you're leaving things, if you're just rushing, just slow it down. You will get more done if you stop hurrying up. I know it's a bit mad, but it is true. Right, the next one, pleasing other people. Here's somebody giving somebody a bit of a piggyback. How many people are you carrying right now? How much stuff? How much of their stuff, not even your stuff? Helping people is a fantastic thing. I think that's mostly what's happening when people burn out. It's that they're helping other people, showing compassion to others, not so much to themselves. And sometimes we do, you know, if this person is having a crisis, maybe they've twisted their ankle and you've got to get back to get them some medical attention, or just to get home and ice it and rest or whatever, then that's an important thing. But if you're doing that every day, if you are carrying people, and I mean, you know, oh my God, I'm a qualified social worker, so I'm allowed to do the speech marks in the air. These inverted commas, this helping people, if you are carrying them metaphorically in the day, you are going to be carrying it in your shoulders. We're going to deal with your shoulders in a bit. Okay, so pleasing other people, fantastic thing to do. This is all about the big B, which is balance. And finally, we've got try hard. We've got another big B here. I think it's upside down. There we go. Bees work very hard. They're known as busy bees. They don't stop. They keep going. But then it gets dark, and then they do stop, and they take a break, and they go back to the hive, and they have a team. They have they have other bees that they rely on, and everybody has a role. So how much of this trying hard have you been doing? And which of these things do you really recognize as being out of balance for you in general, or perhaps specifically at the moment, things that you're falling into? Maybe it's a habit, maybe it's something that you were taught as you were very young, or a habit that you've got into when you've been older. But each of these 5 things, if you fall into allowing that to be in the driving seat rather than you thinking, hang on, is this the right thing to be doing right now? Then it's time to notice that. So have a look which of these things you think you fall into most often. You might be able to recognize all 5 of them. I think different times in different circumstances, maybe that's what happens. But there may be one particular one that tends to be the one that tips the balance for you and ends up with you having too many things to do, or just having that day that just feels like spinning a hamster wheel and not feeling like you can breathe. Now, why do we fall into this trap? I believe that one of the reasons that we get driven by these drivers is that the alternative is to feel guilty, or that we're not doing enough, or that we're not good enough, or whatever it might be. So we're going to do a little affirmation now. We're going to combine that with some breathing, and it's all about finding that balance. One of the things that can be a big driver is feeling that we're not enough, and that if we don't do these things and be a bit more over the top, trying really hard, hurrying up, pleasing everybody else, that if we don't do those things, we're a bad person. And I think there are two key things that are fundamentally underneath our fears and anxieties. One is that if we don't do those things, we will be ostracized, we will be seen as bad or wrong or not good enough. So we don't really feel, we feel like we've got to earn our acceptance, or let's call it love, that we've got to earn that by doing all of these things. And I don't just mean, personal love in friends and family, but even at work, we feel like we've got to do all these things and push on harder to feel that love and acceptance at work as well. And then the second thing is that if you don't have that love and acceptance, if you're not part of something, if you're not accepted as good enough, we have this fundamental, almost survival instinct that we won't be safe, because if you're not part of the tribe, the weakest animal gets left behind for the hyenas to eat, for kind of in a hunting analogy. So we have those fears that we're not loved and we're not safe, and therefore we do all these things a bit too much. So that's where we're going to go right now. Now, if you are around other people right now and you feel a little bit like, feel a bit self-conscious, you can do this inside your head. But if it's convenient and you feel okay about doing this out loud, it will make it even more powerful. I'd also suggest that after we've finished, you write it on a post-it, or you have it as a screensaver so you remember this. And it's this simple: I am safe and I am loved. And we're just going to repeat that. Now, it might sound a little bit woo-woo, a little bit out there, a little bit fluffy, a little bit, oh my God, so Californian. But trust me, after working with people a lot, like hundreds, well, probably thousands of people now, I've never counted, on what is it that you beat yourself up with? What are the negative things that you accidentally say to yourself or on purpose? And how do we flip that into something positive? When you just kind of, every time I did this exercise, I could see that there was this repetitive thing. If you distill it down, whatever fears you've got, they come down to, will I be safe? Will I be loved? Will I be okay? Will I be a part of things? Will I feel like I'm all right as a person? So being safe and loved, feeling safe and loved are crucial. They're at the heart of everything. So when we repeat those words, even if we don't believe them, even if we feel a little bit, this seems like it wouldn't work, trust me, there will be a powerful response subconsciously to this. So roll your shoulders another couple of times. Get as comfortable as you can where you are, whether you're sitting up, lying down, or whatever you are. Just allow your whole body to be supported, so you're fully at rest. And then gently close your eyes if you haven't already, and begin to breathe in and out a little bit longer, a little bit deeper than you were doing. Particularly remember that out breath, the letting go breath. And then just begin to imagine that your whole heart space is full of love. Now, I don't know how you would picture that, what color it might be, what kind of texture it would be, if it was a thing, whether it would be, I don't know, a ball of wool, a candy floss, a pom-pom, I don't know what it would be, maybe a beautiful cloud. But just imagine as you're breathing in, you're filling your chest with a sense of love and safety. And then in your head or out loud, I want you to just repeat, I am safe and I am loved. Nice deep breath in. I am safe and I am loved. I am safe and I am loved. Just keep repeating that to yourself in your head or out loud. I am safe and I am loved. And just be careful of your tone of voice. Are you saying it in the way that you would say it to a friend that you were consoling, to a family member that you were supporting? Are you saying it in a way which sounds like you really mean it, like you're speaking it with compassion and kindness towards yourself? I am safe and I am loved. Saying it in a way, you know, that phrase, some people really hate it, but fake it till you make it. Say it in the way that you would say it if you really were convinced. Use that tone of voice. I am safe and I am loved. I am safe and I am loved. Repeat it a few more times. And as you repeat it, make sure that your shoulders are soft. You might even have a smile on your face. Remembering a fake smile, even a fake smile, can set off feel-good chemicals in the body. Breathing in, breathing out. You are safe and you are loved. And you are much more capable of coping with whatever it is than you perhaps believe. And you have to remember that in order to stay strong, you also need some breaks too. And you need to fill up your tank. Okay, let's leave that there. Just allow that to settle and just notice how you feel, just breathing normally now. And if you haven't already, pop your feet into your bubble bath and just enjoy the water. And now we're going to do my 3 magic moves that I absolutely love. They are 3 key things which help us to release stress and raise feel-good feelings in the body. And all 3 of them come from Kundalini Yoga. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to release some adrenaline from the body by doing the first one, which is adrenal twist. So we're going to twist just the top half of the body. The adrenal glands are in the base of the back here, little hats that sit on the kidneys or the adrenal glands. And the non-scientific version is, if you imagine you've got a flannel and it's full of adrenaline, and we're going to twist it. So that's what we're basically doing. So if you're on a twizzly chair, as I am, you might want to anchor your feet, and we're going to twist to the left and breathe in. Excuse me, twist to the right and breathe out. Pop your hands on your shoulders. If you've got any aches or pains or difficulties, just do what feels right for you. If you can't do this at all, then just sit and take some longer breaths. That in itself is huge. That's telling that busy part of the survival brain it's okay to calm down. And if raising your arms like this is a bit much, you can do it on your upper arms, whatever feels right for you. Now, do this with your eyes closed so you don't get dizzy. You twist to the left and breathe in, twist to the right and breathe out. As you're doing that, I'll just explain that what we're doing comes from Kundalini Yoga. That's spelled K-U-N-D, Kundalini. And it's very, very powerful yoga for resetting the nervous system. It's something which can help us to release trauma without us even having to talk about it, without us even having to realize, you know, sometimes you don't know why you feel a bit odd, a bit unsettled, a bit nervous or worried, or why you can't sleep. We might not know why. When we do Kundalini Yoga moves, we can release whatever it is without even having to work out what's up. So breathing into the left, breathing out to the right. And really what I'm doing here is just giving you a flavor. So you could do this on your own, start your day with it, end your day with it, in order to either prep yourself for the day because it raises your energy, or unwind at the end of the day to release the tension that might stop you from sleeping well. We're just having a flavour. So we're going to carry on for a count of 5 if you want to, and if you're comfortable, you can speed up for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to stillness. Let your hands rest in your lap. Breathe normally and just notice how you feel. Take a moment to just be in that body of yours, that fabulous, fabulous body of yours. Doing all the things. I know I've got achy joints, I've got a fuzzy head, I forget things, I've got cracked heels already. It's not even June and I've got cracked heels from being outside in bare feet. There's what else is wrong? My fingernails are broken. You know, there's all kinds of things about my body that, you know, aren't perfect. Let's love ourselves anyway. That body, this body I've got is still, my heart's pumping, my lungs are breathing. You know, there's all kinds of things that are happening that my body is doing rather marvelously at the moment. So let's celebrate that. Okay, if you haven't already, open your eyes, and we're going to do the second of our 3 things. And this is a spinal flex, forward and back this time. Now keep your head in the same place, and that helps us to focus on, it's the spine we're bending, not so much the top of the spine, just the kind of the main bit. So push forward and breathe in. You're trying to make a C shape, really arching your spine, and then curl it so it's a C shape the other way, making like a little tortoise shell. Breathe in, breathe out. Go at the pace that's right for you. Really push your shoulders back as you arch forward. And as you do this, you're encouraging the spine to lubricate. And when you do that, you bring health to the spine. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to stillness. Eyes closed, just notice how you feel. Breathe normally. And then opening your eyes, I realized that I'm doing this as if we've got a whole day together. I'm taking a longer time over things than I was meant to. So we'll come on to our 3rd one. So open your eyes if you haven't already. And we're just going to shake. This is a great way to just wake up your nervous system and to release any tension that you don't need. So we're just going to flap our hands. There's something magical about the nerve endings in the wrists. Then shake your hands sideways as if you're flicking water off. Get your shoulders involved. And of course, if we hadn't got our feet in a bucket, you'd also be shaking your legs. So have a go at this another time. If you think you're going to struggle to sleep, if you've got loads going on in your head, have a really, really good shake before you go to bed. Put a song on, Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, or whatever favorite song will get you moving about for 3 minutes. And then take your hands above your head if it's comfortable for you to do that. This is also a great energizer to avoid the biscuit tin in the afternoon. And then 5, 4, really go for it. 3, 2, 1. Hands in your lap. Just breathe normally. Notice how you feel. Lovely. Okay, 3 magic moves. The spinal twist, spinal flex, and a darn good shake. All from Kundalini Yoga, all things that reset your nervous system, quick and easy things to do. And I haven't got them to hand because I hadn't planned to mention them, but there's a particularly good book called When the Body Says No by Gabor Mate, which talks about how we get tension and trauma locked in the body. So we need to move more. Okay, you don't have to go jogging unless you wanted to. You can just do these simple moves. Okay, so now we're going to do a very quick version of something which is called the shield. And this is about when everything's going crazy around you and other people have got drama and crises and stuff going on. and you just feel like you're soaking it all up. If you have a particular sensitivity and you get affected by stuff that's going on for other people, or the stuff that they're bringing to you for you to sort, then this is really great for that. We're just going to do a quick version. And then if you think that this is something that you definitely experience, you know, soaking up other people's stuff, then I really advise you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and find the shield. Because it's just free. It's for you. You can just use it. There are people in the world who have like a tortoise shell, you know, it's water off a duck's back when things happen and things don't really bother them at all. And then there are people for whom, you know, you're collecting up stuff. And I think the fact that you're here probably suggests that you care for other people and sometimes you collect up their stuff. So let's do it. Put one hand on your chest, close your eyes. And I want you to think about all the things that make you who you are. Inside of you, under that wonderful hand that you've put on your wonderful chest, are all the things that make you who you are. And let's focus on the good stuff that's there. Your sense of humor, perhaps your caring, your ability to listen, your ability to work hard, your ability to be strong, even if you're not feeling it for real. All of those things that make you who you are, they are safe inside. Now, you've had your hand there for a moment or two. So what you may now be able to feel is a sense of warmth. So I want you to focus on that. So not your hand or your chest, but the feeling of warmth in between. And I want you to imagine that that's a beautiful shield. And that each time you breathe in, you're making that shield bigger and bigger. It's protecting you. It might be shiny, it might be a light shield, it could be, I did work with somebody once who said, oh, it seems like it's a big velvet cloak that I've pulled around myself. It can be whatever you need it to be, but it's protecting you and all that makes you precious. Each breath in expands the size of that shield. Each breath out, soften your shoulders, soften your jaw, let yourself relax. Breathe into that shield, and the next breath in, it's almost the size of your whole self. And breathe out, and then the next breath in, it is indeed the size of your whole self, fully protecting you. And then you're going to take the other hand as if you're making a pledge, so your palm is facing towards me. Breathe into your shield, breathe out, and push away other people's stuff. You're guiding it back to them for them to sort out. And whether they do or not is their stuff. So you breathe into your shield, breathe out, and imagine you pushing away, not the person, just their stuff. Breathing into your shield, breathing out and pushing away. Breathing into your shield, breathe out and push away. And then let both hands rest in your lap and imagine yourself in a position where you're actually feeling it in the moment. In that moment of actually being in conversation with somebody. If you already know you're being affected by their stuff, imagine yourself breathing in, feeling the strength of your shield, and then breathing out and imagining yourself pushing back the stuff that's theirs. Very quick version of a very powerful technique. I'd love you to go find the full version and do it whenever you need to. You can do it before you go into a situation that you know is going to be difficult. You can do it as we just did there, imagining that you do it whilst you would do it with your eyes open if you were in the situation. But also it's really, really good after a situation to just let go of all of that tension. Don't let it live in your body. Okay, well done, everybody. Let's do a little shoulder massage now then. So we're going to take the hand and we're going to squeeze like this. We're going to get that big muscle here, the trapezius that joins the neck and the shoulder. It's where we tend to keep a lot of tension, and we're just going to give it big squeezes. Now then, if that's really sore, you need to do this more often. So be kind to yourself. Don't be like, you know, this tension's built up over a very long time, little by little by little. We're not just going to squeeze it into submission in 5 minutes. So just be kind to yourself. But as you're doing it, remember to breathe nice and long and deep, because that's the message to the mind and the body that it's okay to relax. So if we breathe, the muscles will soften. You can try this if you're trying to reach something. Take in a nice long deep breath and then breathe out, and you'll find you can reach further. It's really quite fascinating. And if you want to, you can use 2 fingers in little circles just around your shoulder blade, just wherever you feel you might have some tension. And something that you can do that you might like is to put a, you know, those heaty weety bags that you can have. You can put one of those across your shoulders if there's a lot of tension there. If it feels like bruises because the tension's built up so much, then that's a nice way to ease it off. And then we're going to dust the shoulder. This is affecting the fascia, which is just below the skin and all part of the nervous system, and that place where we might hold the tension. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So big squeezes, big breaths. Oh, lovely. And then if you want to have a little dig around in the shoulders. Now remember, I'm going to say it twice because it's worth saying twice. This tension is built up over a very long time. Don't expect to get rid of it in a few moments, but do make yourself a little pledge that you're going to do it on a regular basis, just while you're watching telly, while you're waiting for the kettle to boil, when your computer's doing that annoying scrolling thing. And then we'll have a little dust for our fascia. I've done quite a bit of content today, so we're doing less time on the shoulders. But if you feel like you need more time on your shoulders, have a go at the other spas that are on my YouTube channel, where we take a bit longer and we do face and head massage as well. They're, you know, kind of different things, a little bit of a change on the different things that I do. So you can always fast forward to the bits you want to do. Okay, a little roll of the shoulders and just notice how you feel. That feels delicious. And now we're going to have a look at our feet. So if you have got your feet in some bubble bath, it is now time to take whatever you're going to dry your feet with. And I want you to take your left foot out first. And I want you to dry it as if it is the foot of a royal visitor for the Jubilee or whatever would be most important to you. Dry your foot, perhaps the way you would dry a foot of a little child who has had a really tricky day and then had to get in the bath because they were in such a mess, and now you're drying their foot to make them feel really cared for and loved. You're going to dry your foot in that way, in between your toes, gently and firmly. And if you've got some lotion and you want to put your lotion on, then you can do that right now. That might make it easier to do the reflexology. So put a bit of lotion on if you want to. I know sometimes people put on some nail varnish. Don't do that yet because you're going to get in a mess if you do that. We can do that after. And what I've put on is my reflexology sock. So you can get these on the internet. Or you can just get it up on your screen to see which bit's which, because each part of the foot relates to a part of the body. So tips of the toes is sinuses. Let's give the tips of the toes a little rub. Then let's give the big toe, which is the heart and I can't read it back, head and neck. I've done this so many times where I forget what they are. Head and neck. Give that a good old rub. And then we're going to use that little fingertip circle on the bits in between, just at the base of our toes. Obviously you're probably doing it with one foot on the other leg on your thigh, which is absolutely fine. So eyes and ears are just below the toes. And then we're going to give some circles to the spine, the thyroid, the lungs, and the heart is over here. And then in the arch of the foot is the stomach, the adrenal glands. Let's definitely give them a little love. And then we come down to the digestive system. Then I want you to just squeeze your whole foot. Give it a good squeeze and a round of applause. Wow, such amazing feat. Thank you for all you do, keeping me upright, moving me from place to place, helping me stand up, wearing fabulous shoes. And then just notice how that foot feels compared to your other one. I suspect it might feel different. So we're going to do the same now with the right foot. Give it some love and attention as you dry your foot. Oh, lovely foot. Thank you for all you do. And as you dry that foot, making sure that it's all properly dry, have a think about maybe doing this when you have your next bath or shower, that you're actually going to take a little time just to dry your toes nicely. Rather than a quick stamp on the bath mat, you might actually dry your toes nicely. It might sound like a really little thing, but the important thing, as well as having your toes nice and dry, is that it's the intention. You're saying, I matter. You are drying your foot with compassion, which tells your self-esteem and your whole self that you're worth it and it's time to calm down and take care. You know, we think that people often talk about, how do I build my self-esteem so that I then look after myself? Well, it happens the other way around. You look after yourself, which will build your self-esteem. Just as if somebody else was being nice to you, that would help you trust and love that person. That's how we do it for ourselves. Okay, so tips of the toes is our sinuses. Give them little circles, a little bit of love there. The head and neck is the big toe. Obviously, you can take time to do this. You can do it while you're watching telly. Have a little go, do it a little more after we've finished here. Some pressure for the eyes and ears under the toes. And then we're going to get to the spine, the heart and the thyroid in this bit. And then down to the digestive system. All the way down. Some big squeezes. And then a big round of applause. Thank you, foot. Thank you, foot. Lovely. So the same really applies to the hands. You can get gloves which show you where all that happens on the hands. And it's pretty much the same, really. So if you imagine your fingers as your toes and the heel of your hand is the heel of your foot, it's pretty much the same process. So, you know, if you're not feeling like you want to bend down to your toes sometime, then you could just do that instead. Just do it on your hands. Bit of hand cream, and you know, the other thing is that you're gonna really help yourself to feel the sense of self-care, to regenerate your energy and to reset your nervous system by doing that. Even if you don't know which bit's which, you know, you don't have to have the map there to see which is which. So, oh my goodness, here we are already at time to go to the Maldives. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to play a video. And as I'm playing the video, I'm going to be talking through sorry, I'm doing three things at once. I'm going to be talking through your experience on this Maldives beach. There's just you there. It's a private place. It's just for you. And it's perfect because you're going to design it for yourself. But just to help you with that, I'm going to play this video so that you can see this beautiful vision and enjoy the picture of that lovely place. To get you in the mood, before then, you just close your eyes and imagine yourself there. So if you want to lie down, if you're not already, or you want to get a blanket, just get yourself as comfortable as you can. as we head off to this beautiful place. Feel yourself really relaxing, your whole body supported. Breathing in, breathing out, letting go, letting the warmth of this beautiful place soften every muscle. And let's first decide what you're lying on. Is it a simple towel on the beach? Is it a fold-out sunbed? Is it one of those beautiful, enormous, white, curtained, four-poster bed type things that they have in very luxurious resorts? You choose how you're relaxing on this beach. This is a place just for you. You're breathing in, breathing out, relaxing the muscles of your face, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your torso, pelvis, legs, feet, shoulders, arms, hands. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, you might once again want to repeat our affirmation from earlier. I am safe. I am loved. As the sun warms your skin, as the sun warms you all the way through to your bones, you can smell tropical flowers on the breeze. And the sea rolls in, rolls out in a regular motion. Relax all the muscles of your face. In your mind's eye, feel the rhythm of the sea, almost as if it's in rhythm with your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Perhaps your lips taste a little salty. The rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of the waves. And the pattern of that phrase, I am safe, I am loved. In this beautiful place, you might want to think, what else is there? Is there a little cabin where you can spend the evening? Is there a drink by your side? Everything you need is here in this safe, special place. You choose what you need and how you want to feel. And for a moment or two, you might look out to sea and all the different blues and turquoise that you can see create patterns. And as the sun shines on the tips of the waves, they sparkle like diamonds. And you notice that there's a little rowboat and it's tied up to the shore. So you're not going to sail away. You're just going to sit in that little rowboat for a moment. And it has a little window in the bottom, a little glass panel. And as you sit in this little rowboat, safely tied to the shore, you can see all the beautiful fish swimming below. The rowboat is gently rocking. The fish are swimming. And you can see colourful shells, fish of all shapes, sizes and colours. And you're safe in your little boat, bobbing slowly and gently. Slowly and gently, you begin to move your fingers and your toes, beginning to stretch your body. And thinking about that beautiful place, a place you can return to anytime. Breathe a really deep breath in and stretch up. Oh, stretch yourself long. Breathe in. Breathe out. And bring yourself back to the moment, knowing that you can return to that beautiful place anytime you need to. Take a little while to just bring yourself back. So, the Maldives. Oh, my goodness, how delicious was that? I think I got a bit of salty air in my throat there and it made me cough. I do hope it didn't spoil the moment. So the Maldives is a beautiful place. We can enjoy it without even having to leave our living rooms. And if you want a longer version of that without the coughing, you can again have a look on my YouTube channel where you can find Virtual Holiday, and it's a much longer version where you get to be a bird flying in the sky. So I hope you'll enjoy it if you go and have a look for that. Oh, excuse me. Something in my throat. Right, so I need to give you a star because you are a star. Someone truly amazing, really. Yes, really. Imagine that I've given you a star for real and you're going to stick it up somewhere to remind yourself how amazing you are. even when you've got a cough. Now, I did say that there was going to be a little present at the end. So if you go to my hidden web page, so you won't find it on the website, you have to know the URL. And the URL is pamburrows.com/more, M-O-R-E, more. And on that page, you can get a PDF copy of my Burnout Buster book completely for free. And information about the books that I use to reference the kind of techniques and programs that I run in organizations. If you would like me to come into your organization, into your team and do a live in person, oh my goodness, keynote talk at a conference or a workshop for your team, or a full wellbeing program that really puts it right front and center and really shifts the whole culture of the organization, I'd be delighted to talk about that. And in between all the other work I'm doing at the moment, I'm so busy. Oh my goodness. It's just brilliant though. I'm doing some great stuff at the moment. It's very exciting. And but I'll still have time for your team. If you need me, we can book that in. Right, what else was I going to tell you? If you haven't already, then please, please, please go to my website, and at the bottom of every page, you can sign up for the Monday motivation message, so that every Monday morning at 6 a.m. you get something lovely happening. The one email that you're going to get each week that is not going to be giving you any work to do and not hassling you about anything other than your own well-being, and reminding you how fab you are. So I hope you've enjoyed our time together. That brings us up to 7:30, which is when I said this would work until. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If there's anything you want to ask me, if there's anything I can help with, it doesn't have to be a paid for program. If you just want to drop me an email just to ask me a question, you can, pam@pamburrows.com. And yeah, if there's anything else I can help with, but there is loads and loads and loads of stuff on my YouTube channel. So feel free to subscribe so that you'll get a notification, because in 1 week or maybe 2 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks, Annie and I are going to start producing new videos. I'm going to zhuzh everything up and produce some brand new technique videos and all kinds of new things that we're going to do. So click subscribe, click the little bell, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get notifications about that. In the meantime, what's really important, and it says this on my, I went a bit rogue when I published this book. So instead of having the title of the book on the spine, I put this: look after your precious self, which is something that you need to hear, you need to remember. You are safe, you are loved. This has been utterly delightful to work with you. Even though I can't see you, YouTube tells me that there is somebody there. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to find me on LinkedIn, and if you like the work that I do, feel free to leave a little note there. You can do a proper recommendation thing, or you could just send me a message. And yeah, just look after yourself, do you know, because there's only one of you, and you really are very important. And probably nobody else is going to know when you're hungry, thirsty, or tired. So you're going to have to do that for yourself. Sign up for the Monday message so you'll know when the next one of these is, because I'm not quite sure whether I'll do an end of July one. I see how it falls. And at the very least, I'll see you at some point. And if you're already signed up, I'll catch you every Monday morning. Take very good care of your very precious self. That's us for now. See ya.